Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on life through music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, coming again today, you're very welcome. I trust you enjoyed my last video from progressive rock pioneers King Crimson. And through their song In the Court of the Crimson King, we looked at those moments when we actually have a right to be somewhere. So I trust you found that one encouraging. We're going from there to 1964 in Jersey City. These guys are still going. One of the names at the start, the Jazzy Acts, Robert and Ronald Bell, Dennis Thomas, Robert Mickens, Charles Smith, Woody Sparrow and Ricky Westfield would be the start of the band Kool and the Gang. Now, the Kool and the Gang, that name didn't really take until Delight Records came around in 1969 and said, hey, you know what, we're going to sign you guys up because we like your blend of jazz, rhythm and blues, soul, funk, disco and pop. And so Kool and the Gang had a debut album in 1969. In 1973, they released the album Wild and Peaceful. And we've got an early hit of theirs, Jungle Boogie, below. We've got a studio version of that one below. There's a little bit of a decline at this point. What was happening in the 1970s? Well, we just had the big bands like Led Zeppelin with their iconic rock stuff, and then in the early 1970s, a bit past that, we had bands like ABBA and the Bay City Rollers that well and truly brought the fans into the limelight. Kool and the Gang was your typical classic rhythm and blues band. We've got the horn section, we've got percussion, drums, guitars, keyboards, massive heap of people on stage. And Kool and the Gang were just a very slick, smooth outfit. But I think there was only enough room for certain things to be going on at a certain amount of time. You had some big competition in that early 1970s. Bands like ABBA, Bay City Rollers, and Bay City Rollers sold like 300 million albums. ABBA, as we know, were huge as well. And so, you know, there was a lot of competition in the 1970s as music was well and truly trying to find its next stage of life. Well, it was around 1979 that Kool and the Gang said, well, we actually need a good lead singer. So introduced James T. Taylor into the world. And from that point on, they never, ever looked back, because there'd be a stack of top selling singles that would come, because this guy just had the charisma, the voice, and just the look to really capture the Kool and the Gang vision and vibe. They really didn't have that up until the point that James actually became the lead singer, and he really much culminated the Kool and the Gang sound and look. These guys were always very talented, absolutely talented, you know, freakishly talented in many ways. To have so many people on stage is a testament to how good their production actually is. But without that compelling front guy, you can be as good as you want, but without that compelling front guy, it's just not going to work. Of course, another band that was big in the 70s, and think about compelling frontman, was Queen. Of course, you know, the excellent three guys behind Freddie, but Freddie absolutely catapulted Queen into superstardom. Well, the same thing happened here with Kool and the Gang when James T came on board. Ladies Night was an album that came out in 1979, and we got a live version of Ladies Night below. How exciting! Ladies Night, ladies going on the town, you never know what they're going to get up to, whatever they're going to find. But if you're on the receiving end as a guy of Ladies Night, how absolutely cool is that? There's a lot of anticipation and an expectation of Ladies Night. 1980, the album Celebration came out. This was a #1 song for these guys. The song is Celebration. Now, I know Dragon covered this one just a few years later, but Kool and the Gang had this one first. And Celebration, absolutely celebrate good times. Come on, da 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 da. Perfectly, a perfect song for Kool and the Gang to do with their brass section and everything else that's got going on. Some pretty intricate guitar work going on as well. Celebration. Do we know how to celebrate anymore? do we know, if something good happens, and we're really excited and we think, wow, that was pretty cool, that was pretty amazing. I know for me, one of the things that I've done in the past is I think, well, I'm actually really happy about this, but I don't want to spoil it by letting everybody else know about it, because people can sometimes not quite get it or not quite understand the excitement that you're feeling. So that could be one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is, well, it's not cool to celebrate really. We just got to keep it all a bit tight-lipped and keep it a little bit without going to full-blown celebration. Well, Kool the Gang will actually say something different. You know what? We're actually on the crest of a wave right now. We've had quite a few big songs in a row, and we want to celebrate because we love our guy up front. He's really just culminated our sound. Celebration. It's more than just, yay, look at me, I'm good, yay. It's more than that. It's like, yay, look at me, that was absolutely fantastic, awesome, wonderful, great. What are some celebration moments? Well, we think about when a child is born, a baby is born, that's a celebration moment. Or what about a birthday? What about kids? We've got a birthday coming up now. They can't wait for the birthday come about. They can't wait to celebrate and to realise that they're getting older and older and older. So birthdays is absolutely a celebration moment. Anniversaries is another one. Now, I just recently celebrated my 2nd anniversary. And so it's beautiful to be able to realise that, hey, another year of doing life together, another year of love, another year of memories. All those things are absolutely worth celebrating. And often what couples do, in fact, what we're going to do is we're actually going away for the weekend to celebrate that anniversary. And it's almost like the day itself. Well, it was just a little dinner, but we realised we went out to dinner at this same place for our 1st anniversary. That kind of clicked a bit later, but we really, really enjoyed just celebrating the fact of our relationship and our love. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And to find good stuff that happens, when good things happen and you think, well, this is absolutely amazing, you want to celebrate it, don't you? And how amazing to be able to celebrate it with someone you love, absolutely. So celebrate those life moments, those little wins. It doesn't have to be a big, massive thing. There can be a celebration. I had a really surprising thing that happened yesterday. A really unexpected conversation went in a way just wasn't expecting. I left feeling a little bit euphoric after that. I was thinking, well, this is a thing to celebrate. Absolutely. It could be that, a little win during the day is enough for a little celebration, at least a little bit. Yeah, that was fantastic. If you put enough of these together, life can become pretty good. And you link these little events together, and you might think, well, I've actually had a really good week, or I've had a really good year. Celebration takes on a whole new thing. I think you can put celebration and gratitude in the same sentence. Always be thankful for life, the things that you've got. Always celebrate the things that you've got, the things that are good in your life. Hold on to those people that you love, hold them dear, because anything that is good in your life is worth celebrating. And so Kool the Gang, we're absolutely onto a massive thing here. They were celebrating some pretty amazing success after a few lean years. Celebrate goodbye. Come on! Come on! They're almost like yelling at you out off the stage. Come on and celebrate with us. Absolutely amazing song for Kool the Gang. Just a perfect song for them to sing. It's got a live version of that one below. In 1981, we had the album Something Special, and Get Down On It was another one of these songs that's pretty well known to these guys. Get down on it. Let's just get into it. Let's have a really, really fun time. So a live version of that one below. 1983, we're starting to get a little bit more into pop and soft pop and a little bit more ballady. We got the song Joanna. We've got the official clip of that one below. Boy meets girl. Boy meets girl is absolutely amazing. So you're going to have the silky, smooth, kind of smouldering look kind of stuff going on in a video like that one. So we've got an official clip of that one below. 1985, Cherish. And we've got which came off the album Emergency. Now, this was a massive album for these guys, a very, very big seller indeed. They did have a string of really high successing albums in a very short space of time. that late 1970s after James T. Taylor hit their world just absolutely changed. We've got Cherish. Now, I do remember this song coming out, and when all the other artists in the world were putting out good albums, Kool the Gang were as well, and Cherish was an absolutely massive song for these guys. Emergency, a massive album for these guys. We've got official and live version of this one below. Again, we've got the typical beach scene, guy holding the girl's hand as they're walking along the scene. He's just saying what he thinks and how he feels and how amazing it is to be in these moments. Along with celebration, I think, particularly with the relationships, is cherish, and that is you want to absolutely cherish the person who is basically trusting you and building their life around you. What an incredible thing to actually have happen. So you got the obligatory beach scenes in that particular official and then live version below. Make the most of every moment. Now, Kool the Gang, between 1969 and 2023. Get your head around that for a second. It's over 60 years, all right? 26 releases and 70 singles. They've estimated to have sold around 70 million albums, so well and truly have contributed to this collaborative thing of this thing called music. Acknowledged by various industries as well. 2 Grammy Awards, 7 American Music Awards, the New Jersey Hall of Fame, which is where it all started for these guys, Mobo Award for UK Soul, so UK Soul Award, Hollywood Walk of Fame, the Vocal Group Hall of Fame, because these guys are very good at harmony, the Songwriting Hall of Fame, because they're incredibly good songwriters, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as well. So well and truly the industry has acknowledged these guys as being very, very significant in the world. With the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I've got a live version of their performance for that night, and we've also got a short 4-minute documentary about Kool the Gang as well, because there's nothing like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to actually say why these guys are significant, but they are absolutely significant. So I've got a live version and documentary version from Rock and Roll Hall of Fame below. So it's nice to reflect, I think, on these guys who are pretty very much a staple of, I suppose, the Motown sound, the Motown feel, but melting into very much rhythm, blues, pop, disco, and a few other things. They have actually changed their sound as time has progressed, so they well and truly deserve all of the accolades that they've received. So the links to those 9 clips are in the description below, and I also included my last video from King Crimson just for something completely different. So if you want to recap on them, feel free. Well, if this is your first time to Live Reflection True Music, or you've come back for another one, how great to see you all here. Well, that's it for today. As we're still going through the Ks, but as I was looking, this is a K artist, by the way, but as I was kind of looking at what was left, there's not many Ks to go. So we've still got a few though. So next time we're going to get on to Kanye West. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.